All right, welcome in everyone. Happy Monday to you. Welcome back, and a brand new week, brand new opportunity to be awesome for God. And very importantly, another episode of What's Your Story? And man, we are so excited today to welcome in our guest. I've been trying to line this up for a while, and I know this is going to bless many, many people, and I'm excited, and hopefully y'all will be excited as well. But we're going to welcome in Harvest's California representative, Harvest's California campus planter, if you will, via our online campus. Let's welcome in our good friend, Niko Nieto. Welcome in, Niko.
Hi, guys. Hi, Harvest fam. DJ's here with me this morning.
That's right. You want to say real quick, we want to say hi to your little man right there, DJ. How old is DJ?
Tell him.
6.
6. Good deal, DJ. Are you in first grade?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I heard you got up really early today. Well, actually, it is really early in California right now, at about 6:02. We appreciate the commitment, Niko. And apparently, DJ was a little bit more committed than you were. What time did he wake up today?
He was up just after a little bit after 5 saying, hey, why aren't you on your video yet? Where's your video yet? So I was trying to tell him, hey, I'm going to be on this video when you wake up in the morning. So if you want to come down and say hi, but you can't get crazy.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, DJ. We know that you were on the preview picture as well. So
you can play. You can say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy.
Watch your stuff, okay? Watch your shows.
That's right. Watch your shows. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. DJ 6. When's DJ's birthday?
May 23rd, 2015. Yeah. Nice.
All right, well, let's bring it. I'm going to show you how this works. So we'll bring in some comments real quick, and you can see them right there, Niko. So
morning,
Donna says, good morning. Good morning, Donna. Miss Fredna, good morning, Fredna.
Fredna.
Happy Monday to you, Fredna. So just like that, as soon as people hop in. So comment as you come into the room. I usually start a little bit later, so they're probably just waiting for me to be back on my normal schedule. Here's Kelly. Good morning, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Today, Kelly. And while people are hopping in, what I'm going to do real quick, Nico, is I'm going to use my phone. I'm just going to hit the share button, and all of y'all who are participating with us and kind of going on this journey with us this morning, love to have you hit the share button as well, because look, it's about reaching other people with our testimonies, right? Our testimony might not be for you or for me, or somebody's testimony might not be, but it's for someone, right? It will bless someone, and ultimately the goal is just to really start a connection that leads them to a relationship with Jesus. That is the power of the testimony, and that's what we're going to accomplish and achieve today, God willing. And you have a big part in that just by hitting that share button, so we appreciate it. Good morning, Frederica. Happy Monday, Frederica.
I see Shauna on there. Hi, Shauna.
Yeah. And I'm gonna hit the share button here. But good morning, Frederica. Good morning, Shauna.
There comes DJ back. There comes DJ back. Crawling in.
That's all right. All right, let me hit this share button. Boom. All right. Shared. Cool. And who else do we have? Vivian. Good to see you, Vivian. Welcome in from Africa. Great to see you. I think Kenya, right? Vivian's in Kenya as well.
Kenya and Pastor Bill, great there.
Right.
And hey, they're doing a neat thing. They're trying to build a new thing for their church there. So
I just saw that. Yeah, I'm excited.
Support for them. That's awesome.
For sure. Absolutely. Such a blessing. I see Tashara. Good morning, Tashara. Happy Monday. So a lot of people hopping in, and keep coming. Keep your comments. Say your highs to Niko, and we're about to learn his story, which again, I'm very excited. I only know a little bit. I know a little bit just through our interactions here on online, and I know I've spoken with him a bunch of times on the phone. We got to do communion during one of our 3-day periods of prayer and fasting. And Niko, as a matter of fact, we have another one coming up starting this Wednesday. We do it at the beginning of the month. So
you know what I was hoping to do a connect group, find a connect group that would be on. That would maybe work. So I need to do that.
Yeah, we can hook one up for you. Yeah, there's a lot. Well, I do a Zoom one on. It's probably weird because it's 7:30 my time, which would be 4:30 your time. So we need to find you one that aligns with
the evening
time. That's right. Yeah. But we'll find you one. We have a lot of great connect group options, and man, we've had amazing participation this time around. So very excited about that. Good morning to Gail. Hi, Gail, down in Amelia Island, Florida. Hope you're doing well. Here's our man, Ruben. What's up, Ruben? Miss Sally's on there. Good morning, Miss Sally.
Say hi, Sally.
Hi.
Sally. Pastor Ken. Good morning, Pastor Ken.
Hi, PK.
Hi, PK.
That's right. That's DJ. For anyone who's wondering, that is DJ Nieto.
It'll be hard to get rid of him this morning. He loves being in front of the camera.
That's right. There's Ruth. Good morning, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Let me see.
There's Pastor Nate. Good morning, Pastor Nate.
Hey, Nate.
There's Nathan. Good morning, Nathan. Nathan is our creative director and does an amazing job for us. There's Christine. Good morning, Christine.
Morning, Christine.
Here's Pastor Bill Great. Good morning, Pastor Bill Great. There's Patrick. Good morning, Patrick. All right, so basically, as you hop in and you say hi, we'll try to bring you up. If you have any comments or maybe a question for Niko at any point throughout this, you can ask him, and we will try our best to kind of work it into the conversation. But super excited to welcome Niko in this morning. And for those who are not familiar, we'll give some backstory here as we kind of go to his story. But I got introduced to Niko probably I want to say almost a year ago. I have no concept of time, but it feels like about a year as we were kind of really going full speed ahead with our online campus, with our morning devotionals. Niko started hopping in. It was probably over a year ago, as a matter of fact. And we just chat and kind of talk to him and build a relationship online, which people have been doing for many, many years. And it's been really fun. It's been neat to learn more about him, learn some of his story, kind of do life with him, even online. So it's very exciting. And he's out in Oroville, California, and which is, I think, is not too far from Sacramento. Niko, is that correct?
It's about an hour north of, we're in Northern California.
Okay, Northern California. Yep, hour north of Sacramento. So that's where he is. If you want to know more about Oroville, look it up on a map. I saw there's a big lake beside it that apparently needs more water. So
yeah, it's pretty dry right now.
We'll pray for more water.
It's just right down the street from us. We're just right here. So we go down there a lot, but it's looking
awesome.
pretty.
It's a beautiful area, man, and we are so blessed to have you be a part of our Harvest family. It's just, to me, a testament of what God can do through the different mediums that we have, and it's really neat that we were able to get connected. I know there's more backstory even to that, which is even better, I think. So we'll get into this. So Niko Nieto, welcome into What's Your Story, and let's begin, man. So let's back up before we just hop right into your story. How did you find out about Harvest, and how did you originally get connected with our online campus?
So originally, this was there was a big fire up here, the campfire. Town of Paradise burned in 2019. About that time, I was using my Jesus Calling book, but I was working so early and it was hard to see outside. So I was looking for an online Jesus Calling, and I found this Midlands Christian business directory, and that introduced. So I was doing my Jesus Calling on that, reading on that, and then I seen this thought for the day with this guy named Pastor Ken, and I started doing that, and watching his thought for the day. And religiously, every morning, I loved it. It was perfect. It was perfect to fit into my devotion. And I want to say something that was really cool about that devotion that I still do today. He challenged on one of his What's Your Stories, or not What's Your Stories, thought for the day. He challenged to get down on your knees and pray. And that's something that I still do. And I love that he challenged us to do that. And this was years ago. But and then COVID hit, and that kind of led to I started seeing the Facebook stuff and connected with you guys on Facebook. And then I just started coming to your daily, videos that you guys are putting out, or your daily meetings, and started saying hi from California. I think that was about this time last year. Yeah. When I started joining that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would see your name pop up and I'm like, I have no idea who this Niko guy is, but he just keeps joining. So we started chatting and stuff, and it was awesome. I would ask the different devotional hosts who Niko was. Like I would be like, do you? And I thought it was one of our friends like there that just was like hopping on, just because the way that you talk with us, right? You would like interact like you've been with us for years.
It was a good natural fit. Yeah,
it was like, this guy's awesome. And then I was shocked. I was like, wait, nobody knows him. He's just Like, this is great. So I
All
think
right,
that's how we really just started that conversation. And again, have been able to build relationships. And I know you've been able to build a relationship with a bunch of different Harvest folks, which is awesome. And that's sort of the vision that we have for our online campus. So man, you're our perfect scenario right now. And we love it. So, all right.
And I actually have friends now that come on that come on too and watch now. From out here too, some at times. So
yes, yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, you invite people, you have people, you share our services. So it's really, really neat. It's really, really neat. And again, it just shows the power of what God can do through our online world. So excited about that. But again, more excited to have you on right now. So let's learn about Niko. And I know you live in Oroville, California now. Are you a Cali native? Were you born in California? If so, where were you born?
So I was born in Oahu, Hawaii. I was,
oh wow, okay.
My dad, my grandpa was in construction, and my dad went over there to. They brought their equipment over there, and they had been going for years before I was born. And then they were on a vacation over there, and then they decided to move back. So that's where I was born, and we lived there for not too long. I always asked my parents, why did we come back to Oroville? So I grew up on the North Shore up there, and
right.
And but that was so we came back to Oroville where my parents were from, and I think I was 3 or 4 or something like that, and then I grew up here.
That's awesome. Pastor Ken says thank you for sharing that thought for the day story as well. That's really neat. That's a really cool story. How you found Midlands? Well, I actually have to tell the guy who produces that Midlands page as well, because that's pretty neat. He probably has no idea that it reaches that far. And the impact that it's had. So
that's not a Harvest Church thing?
No, it's actually, David attended Harvest for a very long time and kind of started that as a resource for Christian businesses around the Midlands of South Carolina. And he would, Pastor Ken's thought for the day was awesome content to put on the page. So that's kind of how that got started.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty
really
funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a Harvest thing or something connected.
No, well, the thought for the day is, but the Midlands thing is not. But really, really neat. So, okay. So you grew up in Oroville. You came back. You grew up in Oroville, California. What was your family life like? Mom, dad, sisters, siblings, brothers? What was that like?
I have, so my mom and dad were great people in the community. My dad had a construction company, a small construction company here in town. And he was just a good man of the community. And I was raised here working with him when I could get out there from the youngest time. He had me and my brother. I have a little brother, and we're 4.5 years difference. And he put us both on equipment when we were little, got us running it. But I was the one that had to labor more. My brother got to end up staying in equipment, and I had to get out and shovel and stuff. So
right,
I had to do the harder work. I always give my brother stick about that. So
you paid your dues. That's what we said.
Right.
You paid your dues. So what was your family life like? I know obviously your dad, very hardworking, is a successful businessman. Did you grow up in a Christian household? Did you guys go to church regularly? What was that like?
We did. And my mom is full Greek, full-blooded Greek, and so there was no Greek, Orthodox church around here. So they got involved with the Episcopal Church, and we were brought up in that. And my mom took us kids there, and we were raised in that. And I went to actually a Christian school, Oroville Christian School, from the kindergarten through 6th grade, and that's where he goes now. DJ goes to the same school, and I had a really good upbringing with God, and really good good foundation in my life through my family, and that established through my mom bringing us to church, and then with the Christian school, it's a wonderful school.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Nieto, is that a Greek last name as well?
That's my dad's kind of a mix of everything, but it's a Spanish last name.
Chicken.
Oh, okay.
So
you got a little Greek and Spanish, Niko Nieto. I like that. Okay, I had no idea. I don't know what that is.
So the Niko part's what my grandma, they either call me Nikki or Niko. So
okay,
So that's my grandma used to call me my great grandma. So
I got you. Very cool. How much a part of your life was church growing up beyond like 6th grade? Was it something that you guys did regularly, just because of the influence of your parents? Or What was that like for you? Were you involved in
So in the Episcopal Church, there's a thing called acolytes, and so I was involved doing that. Like we would carry the cross. We would. There's a wine, and there's communion every service, so there's a wine. So you'd hold stuff like that. You'd do that. So I was involved with that up until really through high school. I mean, really through high school. Yeah, through before I went to college. So I went off to college. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it pays to have such a good foundation like that, right? And you don't always probably realize it at the time. When your parents drag you to church, but when you meet people and you're able to get involved and you have that foundation, even if you're not completely invested,
that becomes something important for me later. For me, that foundation becomes such an important thing because I didn't. So I went down later in life, I went down like a different detouring road, and it really that foundation I think is key. Is such a big thing, having that foundation, being raised that way.
Yeah. Were you after high school, were you working? Did you go to college? What was your deal then? Were you kind of getting back into construction?
I did. I went to school. I got into a college, a junior college first, and then I went to the state college, which is in Chico, which is about 30 miles away. And my dad, I would work summers with my dad and time off, and then I would actually travel. I actually would go on. I actually went to Europe every summer. I went with a friend of mine who her grandmother paid for our trips to Europe and for kind of me to be watching out for her to go. So that was a pretty cool deal stop.
Yeah.
And so we did that for like 3 or 4 summers. And then it took me a long time to get through college. I think I was like on the 8-year plan or something like that, so.
I understand. Yeah. Well, your personal relationship with Jesus, what was it like during this part of your life? Did you know what that meant to have a personal relationship with Jesus, or was your Christian?
So I did I knew from like a really young age, like that like God had I felt his spirit in my life and I felt a closeness with him. And then we went to this wedding and there was a Episcopal bishop there. And he wanted to talk to me after this wedding because I guess, I don't know, he said he saw something, I don't know if it was I don't really understand as a kid, but said something for God's purpose in my life. And then I remember, I think I was like 11.
Bye, everybody.
I think I was 11 or 12 or maybe younger. And I was like, I remember hiding from him in the bathroom because I was like scared of what he had to tell me or what that meant, or maybe the responsibility of, or something like that. I didn't know what it meant. So, but I kind of look at that as a place like where I ended up kind of like a running from God, or what his purpose was for me. Maybe I'm trying to like run from him. Like I loved him, but at the same time I was like, I don't want this, I didn't want responsibility.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think it was at that age, and like when you're growing up, it's like, you're getting your teen years and you start to realize, and I was like, I want to have fun. I don't want to do this stuff. I had a real rebellious spirit in me. So.
Right. No, I totally understand. So as you got older and as you started to mature in age, you mentioned that you hit a rough patch in your life. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I would love to. So I started smoking pot behind, nobody knew about it when I was like I was 13. So drugs and drinking became, we would sneak, and then it became, so then I got into college and then there was drinking. I worked as a bouncer at a bar. And anyways, it just became, there was dabbling, more with like different drugs like cocaine, but I was always kind of like testing stuff, whatever, trying to, and then doing stuff, and then later on down the road it became a big problem for me. I got into like opiate, using pills because from football I had to hurt my neck, and then I started taking those, and then that led to methamphetamine. And then what it ended up being was, I worked, I had a job for a while, but then later I basically lost everything. It ended up kind of being, on these narcotic or like opiate medications after the surgery I had. And then I got on methamphetamines and met some old friends that I hadn't seen in years, because, Oroville in this area has a real, like a big history of methamphetamine use. Right. And so I ran into some people I hadn't seen in years, and then kind of got into that scene. And that was a really like severe downward spiral for me. And I ended up being a needle in my arm drug addict, lost pretty much everything and pretty low points, about, where I hit, in my life.
Yeah. Wow. How long a period of time was that? Like, I guess where things started getting really heavy for you?
Probably for about 10 years. So from 9 years or something like that, I would say. I mean, it was always kind of a constant thing with me. Like I would dabble, or I would, I held down jobs. I had a good sales job after college, and I did that for a while. But it was always something kind of, it seemed like addiction was something that I was really like, I was always dependent on something,
Right. That was your vice. Yeah.
Yeah, I always had a vice, and drinking was never. I was never drinking for me. It was always, I was never a big drinker, but it was always some kind of drug. What it was. Yeah, it was always some kind of drug that I would go to manage, not feel anything, not want to deal with things, not want to deal with a relationship breakup, not want to deal with this, that, whatever it was at the time. Just an excuse to,
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of people get kind of into that because they're, like you said, they're trying to disassociate themselves from reality to a certain degree, right? You're trying to numb yourself to emotions, and it feels good.
It feels good. It does. But the thing is too, is that we've got to feel, I've learned now, we've got to feel those things. There's a reason that we feel hurt. There's a reason that we feel fear. There's a reason, and we can't just run from those things. We really stunt ourselves tremendously if we don't experience life and what God gives us to experience. There's a reason that we're being given what we're given. We don't understand it, but we need to feel those things, and He wants us to feel those things, and not put a Band-Aid on them or deflect them, because they will come back. We will have to deal with them eventually. That's for sure.
Yes. Very, very true. Yeah, very, very true. It's like our feelings are sort of like it's like when you go bowling and what Riley uses is still the bumpers in the lanes, bumper bowling, like our emotions as we feel them for the most part kind of keep us bouncing back and forth. We don't end up in the gutter. Our emotions help kind of guide us in the way that God wants us to go. So yeah, and I agree. I think it's important that we do feel them, we experience them, because I think also that leads us to more dependence on God. We want to chase after that relationship because we realize that we can't do it by ourselves. For those again just joining us, thank you for hopping in on What's Your Story this morning. We are talking to and learning the story of Niko Nieto of Oroville, California. He is a Harvest family member, and he comes to us via our online campus, and it's been a relationship that was forged over many years through our Thought for the Day that Pastor Ken puts out. But as far as knowing him on our online campus, a little bit over a year, and it's awesome and it's exciting, and it really, really is a blessing to get a chance to hear his story about how he ended up here now and how God's kind of pulled him through some of the rough patches in his life. Niko, as we go back to what we would call the dark period, right? Because I think for everybody, there's some, even if it's not kind of going down that path, we all hit this point of life where there's this realization that, I can't do this by myself. I need God. God loves me. And we start to wake up to that. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of people do. So during that dark period of your life, how invested were you in your relationship with God? Was it still present? Or was it just there but not active? So
I never could. And I ended up getting into trouble with the law, like with DUIs and other stuff, and I ended up in jail a bit. And I pretty much should have been sent to prison, but I didn't get sent. But I could never say I didn't know right from wrong, or I didn't have I didn't have a compass in me. I no matter what I was doing out there, I knew, and I knew God was there though throughout all. When I was running for Him, I could sense Him there. I know there's times that I probably shouldn't be alive, certain times, or like I said, in prison or something like that. But He had a different plan for me, and but yeah, I always knew the right from wrong. So that was a compass inside of me, even though I willfully chose to ignore it sometimes.
Right. I'm going to back up real quick. So how old were you when you gave your life to Jesus? Was that when you got saved? Were you like a teen?
So it was at Oroville Christian School, and I would say it was I don't know exactly when it was. I think it was like, but I know it was someplace like maybe in second, third grade or something like that,
Right.
but I know it was from being at school, and it was something, that I accepted then, and then it was something that just, that.
Yeah, there's eggs.
So I was pretty young, when I.
Yeah. I think
DJ
through my
said
own
eighth grade,
experience,
but it wasn't.
I understand. I think through my own experiences and those of others after I've had.
Can you guys hear me? Or did we get lost?
Yeah. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
You got lost?
Can you hear me?
I kind of lost audio.
Okay, hold on. It might come back.
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Now
cool.
I can hear you.
All right, good. I think through my own experiences and just having the opportunity to talk to so many people and learn their stories, there seems to be a theme in that, especially after we get saved, even if it's at a young age, we can go through periods, and I'm not encouraging this, I'm just saying as we learn people's stories, we can go through experiences where we are running away from God, right? We're distant from God in how we live our lives and what we do and what we get involved in. But there's also this realization, I think we lost Niko. Hold tight. We'll try to hook him back up here in a second. I'm going to dump him out of the room real quick, and we'll see if, when we get him back up and get him back live here. But thank you all so much for joining us. Keep the comments coming. Keep the questions coming. Powerful testimony, and just really about to get good. So we'll here he comes. Let's get him back in here real quick. All right.
I don't know what happened, but
no, we're good. Hey, listen, we're hooked up across the country. It's early on the West Coast. Yes. So, but I mean, I'll say this again. I don't know how much of it you heard, but I think through my own personal experiences and just having the opportunity to talk to others and speak with others and learn the stories of other people, there seems to be a theme where a lot of folks get saved young, right? They give their life to Christ young. And then there's this experience that they go through where they're distant from God, not maybe running from God, maybe not consciously running from God, but there's certainly a period of their lives where they are not living the life that God wants for them. And as we or whoever it is going through this period of our lives or their lives, we know what we're doing is wrong, but we're still far from God. But the key is, and I think you kind of alluded to it as well, is no matter how far you were from God, He was always just right there.
Yeah, exactly. And I know for me, it was something that I was like a Peter Pan thing. I didn't want to grow up. I didn't want responsibilities. I didn't want, for some, for that was something that I just never felt. I just never, rules didn't apply to me until they did start applying to me, and I was in handcuffs or whatever. And, so it was something that,
Yeah, no, that's very powerful. Well, let's talk about how you were able to emerge from this. What was the turning point for you to kind of come out of this part of your life, that season of your life?
There was a few things. I happened to be in rehab when so my dad died in 2016, and I was in rehab for 3 months at that time, and before it was a big thing. Like, it was really hard on my parents. No, not right now. It was really hard on my parents and obviously my family, and my brother and I were totally not. We didn't talk. We didn't speak. So there was no, DJ, please no. When my dad like suddenly we had a little family barbecue, and my brother came, and my dad had been having chest pains for days. I kept telling him, let's go to the doctor. Long story short, he ended up dying the next day. The really cool thing was we had went that night to get some batteries for my niece's little toy they got her, and on the way back, it was really a blessing because my dad and I were driving back over the bridge to our old house out there. And I told him, Dad, I love you. I'm going to do it. I thank you for always loving me. And, he looked over to me and said, I love you, son. And the next morning he was dead. The next morning, he had a massive heart attack and died. So I was really blessed because I got to say everything that I wanted to say to him. And it's one of those rare things. But the weird thing is that my life, as much as I miss my dad, the crazy thing is my life really came together after my father died. I had a relapse after that, but really, like, my life started coming together after that. Maybe it was because, I don't know, for a lot of reasons, it just started to come together for that. But it was really my step back to God and getting involved with the, spiritual based recovery. And, I did 12-step programs and stuff, but for me, it's been, fully given over to God, and he's just made miraculous changes in my life that there's no way that anything humanly like I could have done to do it, and I think that's one of the biggest things that excites me about what I did. What happened in my life is that you can't humanly put something to what my life is now. It could only be done through something like God, by what God's done, for as low as I've been and where I've been, and for the changes, it's only possible through him.
Yeah. Amen. Well, clearly your dad's passing was, I don't want to say wake up call, but it definitely woke you up to the realities of what you were going to be expected of, what was going to be expected of you for the new season. And you probably were like, man, I don't have my dad anymore. I've got to assume, as much as I didn't want these responsibilities of life, I've got to assume them now. Right. I've got to, that mantle has been passed to me and I've got to step up. Let's talk about your spiritual recovery. How big was that in your life? And were there mentors and other people that were able to kind of lead you out of where you were and kind of position you to go forward?
For sure. There was, there's a spiritual, it's called Friday Night Grace here in town. And it's a recovery, a meeting on Friday nights and at Grace Baptist Church. And there was a man there named John Wilkes, and he's just been amazing. Just guide in my spiritual journey. One of the amazing guides in my spiritual journey. He's an older man, and I just love that man. He's always been there for me. And then my church, Clean Slate Community Church out here, Pastor John Craig, amazing man. A lot of people, friends. I've had a lot of support come back in my life. Old friends. Stop, please. Just a lot of support. I've had a lot of people come around me, and that's the weird thing I say about my dad, dying. It's like it brought people back into my life that weren't there, maybe giving up on me, or just thought, he's lost, and it was just, it was kind of God's plan.
No, I see it. So as you started to grow kind of back in your relationship with Christ, when did he feel really, really real to you? Was there a moment, an aha moment, or I know, I guess the colloquial would be a come to Jesus moment. Well, was there a moment like that for you where you're like, you know what, I'm all in on this whole thing, God, I've been running from you, I'm sorry, take me, do what you will with me?
I remember after my dad died, it felt so crazy, because it was so unexpected. And I remember one of my dear friends, Heather, she called me and I was in rehab. She said, you're going to have to really, this is something that we really have, this is going to be harder than anything you've ever done in your life. And I remember her just telling, that whole time, such a blur, but I remember her just really, and I just felt the spirit that, I didn't know that in your thinking, in your head, you're there's no way, this is so crazy. I can survive this. I'm not going to survive this. I don't know what's going to happen. But that was a point where I really figured where I really felt that was a real surrendering and kind of things to going back. Now I would have my willful ways after that, as far as, cause I've had a relapse. I had a relapse, I've been clean for 3 years and 8 months. But that was a real time. But then there's been other times. Like I said, that fire that happened in Paradise that destroyed that town. After that, it's just the way God's led people into my life. If I wouldn't have been at the store, I wouldn't have saw this guy that ended up, I got a job with this guy, and I was able to buy my first piece of equipment with Cat, which is another story that, I had nothing. And I went to apply for a loan with Cat, the world's largest equipment manufacturer. It's hard to get credit with them. And that's totally a God thing, because I didn't have bad credit, I didn't have any credit. And they approved me for financing on that machine, which, it was so inhumanly possible. God, totally had his hand in that. And that established my credit. And then I went on to keep building my business. But why I brought that up, the campfire, because I remember I hadn't run that certain piece of equipment that I bought. So I wasn't, at that time, I wasn't great on that machine, but I remember being in there, and I remember, in all things pray, right? What is that?
Pray without ceasing.
Yeah, pray without ceasing. So I remember being in the machine, and at that time they didn't put up stereo in my machine. So I just remember thinking, oh, this is what he means about prayer. So I'd be like, help me God learn this, help me God get better on this. But then it worked into something where I was in a constant communication with God, and then I would, it was just it was a cool experience.
Yeah, and I think when you realize, wait, like this prayer thing, I can really do it. I don't have to have this like orthodox prayer. Like I can just talk to God.
And it's not that that's the thing that I've learned for me, that it's been something that it's a dialogue. It is that down on your knees, worship and being in awe of him. But it's also that, hey, I'm scared today. I don't know what's going to happen in 3 hours with this thing coming up. Or it's driving and being, man, thank you for this. Thank you for this, my life right now. Or thank you for that. I don't know. I'm big about giving thanks as much as I can. Absolutely.
Shauna says, praise God for favor. Ruth says, pray continually. That's exciting. That you're able to see that and feel that and experience that during this point where you're like, okay, well now I can do this every day and I understand this power. How did your life change as you started really to build your relationship with Jesus? Like really just like build that and invest in that relationship.
So I think it's an ongoing thing. I still have, fear-based, not so loud, please. Fear-based living was a big theme of my life. So it's something that doesn't just leave easily, no matter, because I know my faith is so much stronger now, but at the same time, I still, I have also this crazy thinking, okay, well, when's this all going to stop? When's the shoe going to drop or something like that? Or how am I going to do this next job? But God continually keeps blessing me. I don't I think that's the biggest thing is I don't know if for me, I just it's like a growing process. It's a work in progress. Because I know that, but I keep trying to look to his evidence and trying to make that hey, don't be, so for fears and stresses or things for me, and I know those things have gotten better. But still there's certain times when and I'm like, come on, dummy, he's going to make a way. And if it's not the way I think, it's always, it's always works out.
Right. And turns out being a better way.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's awesome. If you have a comment or question, feel free to drop one and we'll try to bring it in here for Niko. But is when God is pursuing you, and God has a plan for your life and something that he really wants you to do, we can try. We can, I guess we can mess up a lot of things, but as we begin to get aligned, he's going to bring that to fruition. And with your construction business, I know from where it kind of started to where it is now, it seems like it is just continuing to expand and get bigger, and God's fingerprints are all over it.
It is. It's been really cool. It's been now I employ some guys. I have and I just got my third new machine. I ended up selling another one, but so I started off with really high interest rates with Cat, and now I'm down to hey, you don't have to put any money down, and you made your payments, so 0 interest, and it's just been it's so humbling to me though, because I don't know, because of where I've been, it's just so humbling to me, to be and that's a big walk of my life is I am and I sing its praises as being humble, because and walking with humility, I just think that's a constant focus. I'm not because pride goeth before a fall, and so I'm always just really, it's a big focus for me to be humble and to be checking myself. Not that I'm naturally that way. I think I'm a pretty, I try to be naturally that, but that's something that I'm always watching for.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool. And you have an amazing story. So knowing what and you've seen and witnessed and experienced and are still experiencing how God has transitioned you out of a path that had a really bad end to kind of opening up a brand new season. Your son is with you. You have this business now that is thriving and expanding. How do you use that new influence that you have in your life? Obviously your story, but just as you've seen God and been able to, have just be what God has created you to be and move in those directions. And how do you use your story and use your influence now to help others?
I'm looking for ways to be bold, because to be more bold about, I look for opportunities. I ask God but I go to a thing on Tuesday mornings. It's a guy's there's this guys from other churches, but we go to a restaurant, we have coffee, and there's like, it's just a, it's a lead, like, we have scripture, we lead, but we talk, but there's some older guys, there's some guys my age. But there was a guy there named Mike, and he worked for the local PG&E out here. And this guy was, which is all our utilities out here are electricity. So Mike was the kind of guy that if he was up in the bucket truck, he'd be like, he saw somebody, hey, have you heard about Jesus? And he was just real. I mean, he was the most amazing guy. So I looked, so that's what I'm looking to be is to find opportunities and to be bold like that, to push myself to be bold like that, to be, to bring others to Jesus and to not have, to be bold. That's, I think, a theme for me.
And that's counter to, I think, who a lot of us are, right? We want to think that we're bold until presented with an opportunity to be bold, and then we find out how hard it is to kind of cross that bridge.
Yeah, and I look, and it is, and it's that stuff like showing out for him and not being not letting your natural tendencies to try to be like so anyways, that's a big thing because and the way he did it was so genuine, it was just so genuine, like you felt it. So I pray for that kind of
a heartfelt humility for Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Donna has a question for you. Donna says, Niko, I'm also an addict. Ever since she stopped, she's plagued by temptation. Have you ever dealt with temptation? And I'm going to follow that up with, how do you push past that?
So for me, it's a big thing. I think about, they say in people, places, things in recovery, so there was a time when I knew where I had to change all that. And then there was a time where, there's the weird thing is that I'm not tempted by, for like the meth and that stuff, that use, I don't know if I don't have, it's just, I think in that first year, it's hard. There's some chemical stuff that go on with your head. I think in the first year I had thoughts of it, and at weird times I'll have it's the unconscious thoughts of it that come up. Like you'll see something on TV that will remind you of that. And there's a rush of whatever. And you're like, wow, that was, so it's not for me conscious thoughts. It's the things that come unconsciously or subconsciously. I mean, I have to just check those, but that's a constant process. And I know in recovery, in your first year, that's, and there's just different stages that your brain goes through and getting them out. But I truly know that God's, delivered me from that. But there's also things I have to do too. I can't run with the same people that I ran with. I can love some of them, but it's from a distance and pray for them. But I'm not, I really had to change my, my crowd and my people and my tribe,
Yeah.
That wasn't ever my tribe. That wasn't really ever my tribe. It was because that's a soul sucking lifestyle, and it's and there's very few people. I mean, I wasn't capable of. I mean, I like to think that I'm always have a good heart, but but I don't think when you're in that, like you're capable of really genuinely caring and having a caring heart and stuff, and that when you're in some chemically induced and things, situation like that.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing and it's awesome just to see how God's delivered you from all of that and then just knowing your story and seeing where you are and getting excited about your wins with your business and being able to celebrate those, from afar. Like, man, it's awesome just to see.
Yeah, it is. I can't. Every day it's just such a, every day it's just, I'm still like pinching myself. I'm so thankful. And there's, everything, I don't know, even my worst day now is better than my best day back. I keep getting Nerf darts thrown at me. So, but yeah, even my worst day now is better than my best day then. And for God to be such a provider, because it really isn't me. Like I couldn't deliver myself. I tried to think my way out of things. I tried to escape from things, and it really, truly isn't me. The glory is God's. And I can't say that more because there's really nothing that I done except to be faithful to Him as best as I can.
Yeah. So. I understand. As we wrap here, from I guess from our perspective here in South Carolina, we look at California and we're like, man, it is under so much oppression from the enemy, from top to bottom. What is that true statewide? Do you feel that where you are? Like, what can we pray for when it comes to California?
Oh man, California is it's such a beautiful place, especially up here in Northern California. We are a different. I mean, there's a lot of there. I mean, there's a lot of. We're different than the people in Southern California as far as our political ideology, and we're more conservative up here. I'm not saying everybody is, but as a whole, that this area up here, kind of delineated from Sacramento north, cutting off San Francisco, like everything north of there is pretty conservative, but yeah, just pray for us because it is bad here. We have mandates coming for our kids to have, the vaccine shot, which I mean, the whole mandate thing is just, I mean, is I believe it should be somebody's choice. I mean, what they want to do. I'm not against the vaccine. I'm not particularly for it, but I just believe it should be your choice. I mean, it's I'm not. If that's your choice, that's what if you decide to do. But you shouldn't tell me to put it in my kid. And then there's other stuff. This whole, it's hard to have a business here. It's really this state's really, really, really socialist. So.
Yeah, man. Well, we're definitely we continue to pray for California, and we thank you for being a soldier out there for good and for Christ. As we kind of just talk about our relationship here, thoughts on what we're doing, thoughts on how we can improve at Harvest with our online connection. Like, how do you feel like God's moving through this area?
Man, I really feel I mean, I've heard of things like Azusa Street or something, or is it
the revival?
I don't know. I feel a strong calling to you guys. I feel a strong pull. I just love what you guys have going on. I sing your praises out here. I love the different daily devotionals. They have so blessed me every day. It's really been just such a, it's been, even during COVID, it was so nice to have, to have that option. You guys each have your own style, and it's so I'm so blessed by them. So, and I try to share them out messenger wise and on my page, and I have the summertime has been really busy. I'm looking forward to the fall slowing down because I haven't been able to be regularly on there during the summer with my business and stuff and starting so early. So things will be slowing down a little bit, and I'll be seeing on some of the other ones, during the week. But I just love you guys. You guys are the best. And I can't wait to get out there and who knows when that's going to be, when I'll be able to sneak away and do that. But
well, man, we cannot wait to have you out here, man. And we're so blessed just to know you.
I'm thankful for the friends I made. I mean, I've made so many friends. It's so cool. I mean, it's so genuine. It's so genuine.
Right. No, that's awesome. And it just shows the power of what can happen online. I always tell people that, people have been fostering relationships since the advent of the internet,
right?
Through message rooms and chat boards and all kinds of stuff. So this isn't a new concept. It's a new concept for Christians because it kind of moves us from the building to a different place. But I mean, the object is to still build relationships with each other and ultimately grow our relationships together towards Christ. So
exactly. And I was going to encourage you. I don't know how everybody shares, but I encourage you to not only share to your timeline, but to go through and in Messenger and here's the thing is I know there's people on Messenger that I send it to and that it's like, okay, I know they're going to love it or I know they're going to watch it. But my challenge to the other thing to me was to send it to the people that you're reticent to send it to. Like, I don't know if they'd watch this. I don't know if they're really. And so I've been doing that lately and trying to throw out seeds. So yeah,
that's awesome. Well, good deal, man. We appreciate that. And yes, to all of our Harvest family members here, besides Niko, Messenger, hit the share button. We try to drive that home, but it's very, very powerful, right? Like the opportunity to touch people all over the world is there. And who knows, we'll meet more awesome people like Niko and get to build relationships with them as well. Niko, what an amazing story. So cool just to see the fingerprints of God all over your life. And clearly he has an amazing plan for you. And it's awesome to know you as that plan kind of blossoms and comes to fruition, man. So thank you so much, brother. And we appreciate you and we love you, man. And we do look forward to the time that you get to come out to South Carolina and hang out.
That is planned. I know sometime soon it'll be just like, hey guys, I got a ticket or something, or so
yeah,
we'll be there.
Yeah. I've warned you, like, don't come in August. I mean, you can come, but it's going to be.
Yeah, I think I'm good on August. I know that. I know a little bit of East Coast heat and humidity not to want to come then. So,
yes. But man, I can't wait to meet you, man. And for everyone who sees him online and checks him out when he's on our devotionals or interacts with him on our live streams, be sure to continue to say hi And now you know just the power of what your share can do, and how cool it is to see what God is doing. And I know people will be touched by this testimony, Niko. So thank you so much, man.
I love you guys. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Thanks, brother. I'm going to pull you out now, but thanks, brother. And I'm just going to finish up here with some quick announcements, some things for y'all to know as we wrap. Again, hit that share button if you have not hit it as of yet. But a couple things coming up that are important for you to know. First of all, beginning this Wednesday, we begin our 3-day period of prayer and fasting. It's so important to us as a church. It's so important to us as Christians to fervently seek God with everything that we have. And that's what this 3-day period is all about, right? We're going to fast. We're going to give up something. We're going to deny our flesh. We're going to seek God with a stronger sense of urgency. And then we have opportunities as a church for you to join us throughout the week. Starting at noon on Wednesday, we have our 3-day period. At noon on Wednesday, we have our midday worship experience, which is an hour of Christine, Christine and Pastor Nate, just leading us through a straight hour of deep worship. Really, really powerful. And an awesome way just to clear our heads, clear our minds, position our hearts to lean into God over the 3 days. Wednesday night, we have our first Wednesday service at 7:00. And that's the time for you to come on out, come to the house of God, join us online. The doors are open, though, if you want to come. We're going to take communion together. We're going to bask in the presence of the Holy Spirit. And again, another way just to give our hearts to God this week and position ourselves to really experience his move. And then that culminates on Friday at 7:00 with our night of prayer. So come back out at 7:00 and just pray with us, right? Let's just pray as we wrap our fast. God moves when we hear him. I mean, when he hears us. I mean, when we seek him, God understands and things happen. So that's our goal right there. Coming up on Saturday morning, all you ladies, this link is live on our website, the-harvest.org. Our ladies' if table is coming back. I know a lot of you are very excited about this, as you should be. They want you to bring a store-bought breakfast item just for COVID reasons. So you don't have to prepare anything. Just run to the store, get some muffins, get some donuts, whatever, get a quiche. I don't know what that looks like for you, but bring it to the if table. Sign up and let them know what that looks like for you on our website, the-harvest.org. You will have an awesome time. All women, you should participate with that. And then Saturday evening at 6:00, Pastor Xavier is going to lead us through a 6-week Foundations of Faith class, which is an intensive kind of look at the Bible as we build our faith, as we grow our faith, as we dig deeper. Pastor Xavier does an amazing job with this. And if you're interested, again, you can go to our website, the-harvest.org. So I'll say this one, put it on your calendars, women, for your men, put it on your calendars, men. Saturday, October 16th, we're back at it with another men's breakfast over at Whiteford. Your chance to check out our brand new gym floor at Whiteford, paid for through our the generosity of y'all through our Heart for the House campaign. And we're just going to hang out. We're going to have a great time. We're going to eat some breakfast. We'll hear a great word. And we'll just grow together as men. So some awesome stuff coming up, awesome opportunities. And then, of course, this week is our Impact Lexington week. And we've got great opportunities for you to help us impact the community in a positive way. We start tomorrow morning at 7:30. If you're interested in our Heroes Breakfast, where we serve first responders, that's at 7:30. You can email brooks.cannon to let him know, and he can find a place for you. We have an opportunity coming up on Thursday. And, of course, we have an outreach on Saturday morning as well. All that information can be found on our website, the-harvest.org. So loved it. Thank you so much. Niko was awesome. We thank Niko for joining us. Loved his testimony, loved his story. And we cannot wait to do this again next week. So with that being said, I pray that everyone has an awesome Monday. And we'll come back at it tomorrow with extra encouragement. Have a great Monday, folks. Thank you so much.